I gotta read this. Please notice this meeting is being recorded by Zoom for the purpose of taking minutes in Dalton Community TV. All those able, please stand up. Mr. Stark will lead us in the pledge.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Meeting, roll call, please.
Tony Cagliarulo.
Here.
Mark Stroud.
Here.
Chairman Bishop.
Here.
John Wood.
Yes.
Dan Esco.
Here.
Our Chief Town Manager, Tom Cheston.
Here.
And Henry Williams.
Here.
Okay, for the record, there are no minutes to bring forth. Okay, this brings us to the time when the public may address the board. This is the time when the public may address the board on any item listed on the meeting agenda or any issue or matter of the town. If you intend to comment on an item listed on the meeting agenda, please do so at this time, as we will not be taking comments from the audience when the item comes up for board discussion. The public address to the board segment will last no longer than 30 minutes. Each individual will be given up to 3 minutes. If you intend on addressing the board, we ask you to do the following. Please raise your hand to be recognized by the board chair. Please stand up to the podium and speak into the microphone. Please identify yourself by name, address, or the company/institution you represent. Please address your comments to the board chair. Please make your comments concise and try not to repeat statements made by others. Discussion or debate on any issue may not take place at this time. The chair or the designee may answer questions on procedural matters. Is there anyone that would like to speak on any items or address the board on anything?
I would,
Jean?
yes.
Come on.
No? Okay, thank you. Usually my voice carries, so I hope everybody can hear me. I want to address the board, Chairman Bishop. I want to thank you very much for your comments at your last meeting and the article that was in the Eagle. Participating in the reason why the special town meeting was canceled. It's very transparent, and that's what I appreciate very much. And I want to thank you publicly, because this town is so important, and it's a good town. And for the last, I don't know, several years maybe, there have been things that we never went through before. Personality clashes, whatever. Now, this doesn't include the new business with it. That has nothing to do with the sand issue, please believe me. But if we begin to be more transparent, every one of us, step up to the plate, watch each other's back, work together as a team. There's so many good people that want to be part of doing what's right for Dalton. I've been here all my life, 86 years I've been a member of this town, and I love it, and I don't want to leave, and I don't want to see things going sort of the way they have been for a few years. Not blaming anybody, nobody's perfect, but I just wanted to come up here and thank you, Bob, very
Thank you.
much.
I appreciate
it. Okay.
Anyone else? David? David? Yeah.
Good evening. I echo your statement in regards to, we do have a lot of fine residents
We
here
do.
in our community. A lot of people just looking for the right thing. And I too appreciate the comments made, Mr. Bishop, at the last meeting. I just wanted to just give a quick update and thank you to this board for recently making the motions to create the ad hoc committee, for which I requested to be a part of as a DCAC member, along with my wife as an alternate. If given the opportunity, we really look forward to the opportunity to work with the group to really together formulate, I would say, our offensive plan, not defensive plan, in regards to whatever work is completed on Berkshire Concrete's property. If it wasn't shared last time at the last meeting, I just want to let you know that my wife Lisa was able to testify at a hearing at the State House in past weeks. The hearing was for a couple bills. At the state level, the bills are looking at putting a moratorium on sand mining in the southeastern part of the state. The impact of the sand mining in the southeastern part of the state is, I would say, much more severe than the impacts, as much as they are very large here. But what we wanted to echo there at the State House was that this was a statewide issue and not an issue that was something the southeast part of the state was dealing with. I feel like those words were listened to, and I felt that it was very valuable time spent that day in spreading the message, and again, just affirming to groups on the eastern part of the state that we have their back as well. Part of the testimony, we were able to meet a number of constituents, people fighting for the welfare of the citizens of our state. We found a group in Olin University that's currently doing research to support towns, communities in their fight against sand mining. They're focusing some of the research is on the effects of sand mining on not only people, but all forms of life and water aquifers. I've invited and hope to have a correspondence with him or her by phone or by Zoom or in person in the coming weeks. All this information that we're gaining, and I feel we've gained a lot in recent weeks, I look forward to sharing on the ad hoc committee in our future meetings. So thanks again. I think we're moving in the right direction.
Thank you for everything you're doing.
Thank you all.
Okay, anyone else? Yeah, Ron?
So my wife and I, Ron Griffin, 33 Florence Street, Dalton, Massachusetts. Again, my wife didn't show up today. Okay, but she did give me some very specific notes that she wanted me to share with the board. And usually tonight's notes and comments have to do with the situation with the sand mine. And some of the things that probably should have happened, but unfortunately did not. Planning board meeting in minutes. There were something in here regarding a report from the building commissioner regarding Berkshire Concrete. I know that Mr. Duvall I haven't seen him this evening. I don't know if he intends to be here, but these comments are probably more directed at him than they are you folks, but I think it's important that you know. On both 2021 and 22, Patrika, Duvall inspected a site. We're not really sure what site, but we don't believe it was 10516. In 2023, there was no listing showing who inspected which site. And again, our understanding, based on the information that we have from these meetings and from the town, is that the building inspector, it's his responsibility, building commissioner. In 2024, Mr. Davis and Mr. Mungin inspected site 10516. And I guess we still don't understand where Mr. Duvall was in this process. In February 11th, this is a note from the building inspector. The planning board has no jurisdiction over health or environmental dust. We are only able to address clerical error and craft subsequent conditions imposed on the new permit. The new permit will follow the normal planning board application process, including the notification of abutters and a public hearing. Some of the things that should have happened didn't happen, i.e. the notice to the abutters. Because it was suggested that 10516 was not the site. At least that's what the building inspector led us to believe. February 10th, from the town planner, the question was asked about who basically is responsible and about the special permit. The town planner said special permit is the purview of the building commissioner. Again, on February 10th, the building commissioner said violation of the special permit is an issue of the planning. February 18th, in a Zoom meeting of Conservation Commission, building commissioner, inspector, Mr. Duval, said he informed Berkshire Concrete that no work is to take place on lot 10516 until they reapply for a special permit. Again, that was on February 18th. On March 12th, my wife and I went to town hall with actually the purpose of seeing the town planner. And Mr. Duval was there, and in a discussion in the hallway of the town, asking for clarification what is going on in lot 10516, and that was Lynn and I. He replied that site work is going on. When asked how can they do that with a cease and desist, at that particular time it was alleged that there was a cease and desist. He replied, Berkshire Concrete never, and I'll repeat, never had a special permit for lot 10516. So they have committed no violations. So by virtue of the fact, allegedly, that there was no permit, they didn't commit any violations. Duval said he never inspected lot 10516 because he never knew about it. It just appears that they can do basically whatever they want on their own land. That's what came out of the conversation with Mr. Duval. Thank you.
Thank you.
Run. Pete Person, 30 Florence Street. Couple of things. I just want to, I've said this before, but on record, I just want to keep driving this home. We've been asked to document migrating dust from the site, and I just want to reiterate that, you know, it's like trying to watch the tide come in. Oh, another drop's coming, you know. We're told that the worst thing, the worst part, is what we can't see. Okay? I'm not home all day long, okay? I don't know how it's possible for us to monitor this. Now, I mean, I get it. Everybody's looking for the perfect piece of evidence to say, oh yeah, it's definitely coming from there. But I just want to go on record and say, without monitoring, we really have, it's an impossible task. We don't have, you know, the scientific equipment to do this, and, you know, I realize hopefully it's coming. Hopefully that we will get to that point. But I just want to say how, you know, how difficult it would be for us as citizens to prove that that sand is leaving that site. I mean, I think I've got a pretty good idea that it's leaving the site, and I have a pretty good idea that it's not leaving the site at the rate at which it was, because they partially mitigated. But the other part, and I gave a copy of this to Tony at the last, Tony Begley Rule, at the last meeting. I don't even remember what it was. Was it planning board? Board of Health. Board of Health, okay. I think I attend this better than some of the members do. But 350-61 talks about earth removal and the regulations and requirements to provide for public safety to control noise, air, or water pollution. erosion, vibration, landslides, etc. Okay, to protect residential neighborhoods from adverse effects which may be caused due to this. Doesn't say health effects, adverse effects. I'm pretty sure it's a health effect, because I got a whole stack of papers here about crystalline silica, and it's bad news, and it causes lung diseases such as lung cancer, okay, amongst other things. So I just want to say there already is a bylaw, or I don't know, 350.61, I can't remember where I extracted that from. Would that be a bylaw? Yes. So we already have the laws. It's just a matter of whoever's purview it is. We keep going around with the purview thing, like, you know, like the hamster in the cage. We just got to nail that down, whose purview it is, and enforce it. And, you know, remember when they're coming around the next time to file again, that you didn't necessarily do what was right the last time. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else? Richard?
Richard Hall, 164 Green Ridge Drive. Real quick, I was up there today and I saw that they put the fence up, which is good news. The only issue is I'm looking forward to seeing what the engineering company that's going to review it thinks, because from 200 yards away you can see the trees on the other side of it. I'm not quite sure how it's going to stop dust. Thank you.
Thank you.
Richard, what kind of fence is it?
Well, it's
Is
got,
it a see-through fence or a solid fence?
no, it's see-through. You can see the trees on the other side of it.
Okay,
The chain link fence. Yeah.
okay, chain link fence.
Do they have any mesh? They got mesh on it?
Well, it's got the mesh, but you can still see trees on the other side.
Okay.
I'm not
I
qualified.
got the picture.
Yeah, I'm not qualified to
Yeah,
say whether the dust gets through or not.
thanks.
Thank you. Anyone else? Okay, hearing none. Okay, number 6, appointments.
Okay. Mr. Chairman, I have 3 sets of annual appointments to bring before the board and presented by the town manager now, and they come into 3 categories. And I'm going to start with the staff. And if any of you anybody wants me to read all the names, I will do it, or Dan will do it. But we would just like to ask for the board, and I move that the staff appointments be approved as presented.
Second.
Okay. Motion's been made and seconded. Is there any discussion or concerns?
Okay.
Should we read the list? That's the question.
I don't think it's
I don't think
necessary.
it's necessary.
I think that was the rules for the,
We can give it to the press if they want it. They can
Right.
press it.
Yep.
Okay.
Maybe give a copy to the press.
Yeah.
They have one.
They got it?
Perfect.
Great.
Right. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay. The second category, that was, I noticed about, the first, the staff is probably about 25 or 30. That's regular employees. This is a 3-page document, which we're very proud of, because it's a list of all the volunteers for various committees in town. And we couldn't survive without them. But at this point, I'd like to move that the list of volunteers that contribute to the town of Dalton be approved as submitted.
Second. Okay, motion's been made and seconded. Is there any further discussion? Tom?
I do, I have a question regarding the public safety facility. There's 3 names. I've withdrawn from that committee, but Dave Martindale's name is not on that.
Must add Dave to it because he should be on.
Hey, Tony, what page is that?
This,
Page 506.
506?
no,
5.
public
Five.
sewer, public
I
sewer.
don't have 506 yet.
Yeah, I don't have the number.
It's not bad.
Oh,
Public safety, there's only 3. Great, none.
What was it? They must have?
Dave Martindale's the
That should
4th
be Dave
number.
Martindale on there. We'll just add him.
Okay, well, I'm gonna amend it. I wish to, at this time, amend my motion to add the name of David Martindale of South Carson Avenue to the Public Safety Building Committee.
Second. Okay. Motion's been made and seconded. Is there any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Okay. And the third
Well,
list,
no, now we gotta vote on the,
oh yeah, on the
that was
amendment.
just on the amendment, so now on the motion as amended.
Yep. Okay. Any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye. Thank you.
Okay.
And the third category is the annual appointments of employees we call stipend employees. That's people that receive a small amount of money for providing a specific service, such as tree warden and things like that nature. Okay, at this time I would move that all stipend employees be reappointed as submitted by the town manager.
Second.
Okay, motion's been made and seconded. Is there any further discussion? All those in favor? Aye. Opposed?
Chairman, that's it. Now we go, regular appointment.
Okay, thank you. Good job, man.
Yep. All right. Okay, now we're at a regular appointments. And the first one would be Mr. Matthew Bryan to the Board of Health effective immediately through June 30th, 2026. I move that Mr. Bryan be appointed to the Board of Health effective immediately.
Second.
Okay, motion is made and seconded. Is there any further discussion? Is Matthew here tonight, by any chance? Matthew, step up. I'd like to thank you for coming forth and volunteering. I heard you have extremely well credentials. Thank you so much. Do you want to say anything, or?
No, I'm rather new to the town of Dalton, but I'm looking forward to serving however I can.
All right, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, thank you, Matthew.
Second appointment we have is Christopher Spratt as a full-time patrolman in Dalton Police Department, effective June 17th, that's tomorrow, 2025, through June 30th, 2026. I would move that Mr. Bryan be appointed as a full-time patrolman in Dalton Police Department.
Is there a second? Second. Okay, motion's been made and seconded. Is there any further discussion? One.
We have Mr. Pryor here.
Yes, we did. I met him earlier. He's got a lovely
Introduce
family.
yourself to the board and the town, and
I'm Christopher Pryor from Lanesboro, Massachusetts.
Are you ready for this?
Yes, I am. I'm very ready for this.
Okay, we
Excellent.
really appreciate you stepping up for this. It's an important job. You're the guys that have our backs in town.
Thank
So
you.
we really appreciate it.
I appreciate
Okay.
it. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Bryan.
Chief? Not gonna get away that easy.
I do just want to thank Chris, because Chris has been very patiently waiting for almost a year and a half to get on our department for an opening, and an opening came up, and I think his children should get an award for how good they've been through this.
All right.
Okay, we have a motion on the floor and a second. Any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Welcome.
Congratulations. Thank you.
Third appointment we have this evening is Kalen, Kalen Spratt, S-P-R-A-T-T, as Tech Tutor for the Council on Aging, effective July 18th, June 18th, 2025, to the end of the summer. I move that Mrs. Spratt be appointed as Tech Tutor for the Council on Aging, effective immediately.
Is there a second? Second. Okay. Is Kalen here by any chance?
I don't believe we have Kalen here.
Okay.
I can report that he's a high school student who has been already volunteering in this capacity, and we're just very pleased that we're able to use some federal money that's coming through the RPC to continue our program of digital literacy and outreach to people that the senior center here and some of the Dalton Housing Authority, a couple, our Dalton Housing Authority properties, and other people in town.
What does a Tech Tutor do? What's that entail?
It's in a field called digital literacy, which is making sure that people who don't have regular access to the internet learn how to use it best, including how to avoid scams and phishing and that sort of thing.
Oh, that's important.
So it's basic digital literacy with some cybersecurity included.
Cool.
Excellent.
Is there a stipend attached?
There is.
Good.
Rather small, but it's substantial for a team in
That's great.
over the summer.
Okay.
Thanks, Tom.
Thank you. Okay, a motion's been made and seconded. Is there any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? So moved.
And now we have, I move to the appointment of Maryanne Emerson as Mill Site Manager / Elder Services Liaison for the Council on Aging, effective May 1st.
That's retroactive?
Is that not true?
May 1st.
That's correct.
Okay.
That's correct.
Okay, May 1st, 2025 through June 30th, 2026.
Is there a second?
Yep.
Okay. Is Maryanne here? All right.
Oh, wow.
Come on up, Maryanne.
Mill Site Coordinator.
Hi, I'm Maryanne Emerson, and I live on 388 High Street.
Oh, yeah.
I've been coming here for 10 years as a, I want to say resident, but I just enjoy coming here, and they asked me when the job opened up if I would be interested, and I said, sure. So here I am.
What are you gonna cook for us?
Oh, I don't do the cooking. Make sure it's served
Make sure
safely.
it's-
Make sure we get some. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you, Maryanne.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, a motion's been made and seconded. Is there any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Mark, if you would, handle the next one.
Mr. Chairman, I make a motion that we appoint Tony Pagliarulo and John Boyle as representatives of the Select Board to the Clean Air Committee.
Is there a second?
Thank you.
I'll second it.
Okay, motion's been made and seconded. Is there any further discussion?
So just to be clear,
Yeah, we changed
Mr.
it.
Pagliarulo is going to be the representative and Mr. Boyle will be the alternate?
We can have two. We can have two.
We'll have
to it
two
because
representatives.
Got it.
It's
Okay.
not a quorum.
Fair enough.
Okay?
I have just one other point, Bob, and I emailed this out earlier. I want to be clear that this is an ad hoc committee, and the motion is that a clean air ad hoc committee be established to examine and report all issues relating to all future permitting of Berkshire Concrete Corporation to the town manager. The committee will be comprised of one representative and an alternate from the Select Board, Planning Board, Board of Health, Conservation Commission. Additionally, that 2 Dalton residents, including one from the Dalton Clean Air Coalition, be appointed. Letters of interest from Dalton residents are requested. It's very important that in terms of not violating the open meetings laws, that we are an ad hoc committee of reporting to the town manager, including his staff, and in the future, no doubt, including an attorney and our hopeful third-party peer review individual. Has that person signed up yet, Tom?
For which?
As our consultant, third-party peer review to help us in this process? Berkshire Environmental, I believe, was,
Yes.
that happened.
Oh, we're in contract negotiations, but it's like, yes. I'd just like to point out that calling it an ad hoc committee does not prevent it from being a public body. It is appointed by the Select Board, and it is a public body, and therefore must meet all requirements of the open meeting law.
It's not a public body, Tom. We are reporting to the town manager, and his staff is included in the committee work.
If they're doing the public's business, it's a public body, and it's especially if appointed by the Select Board.
It's not appointed, 2 members are appointed by the Select Board from the public at large. We should continue this discussion,
Yeah.
but basically, it's pretty clear from my reading that advisement to the town manager, inclusive of his staff, or a school superintendent, is not subject to the open meeting laws.
I'm
But
I would be glad if that were true. So let me just take that to town council.
Okay.
Good idea.
Well, for now, we can appoint the two to the committee, correct?
yes.
Okay.
Should we wait?
No,
Well,
Appoint. Appoint.
you can go ahead and set it up.
All right, we don't,
yeah,
yeah.
we'll set it up. I mean,
Like,
works.
okay.
pending approval from town council, that's all. We just need to know if it's a substitute meeting or not.
Yeah.
Okay? Okay. A motion on the floor to nominate Tony and John as representatives to the Clean Air Committee. Is there any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? All right, Tom, you gonna let us know?
Yeah,
Find
sure.
out?
Can I just
Or
follow,
maybe carry.
can I just follow up on that too, Bob?
Yep.
2 citizens have expressed interest that those letters come in. Are they going to be on the next?
Three citizens have expressed interest, yes.
So we'll bring up for our next agenda in terms of a formal appointment or,
Sounds good to me.
okay.
All right, perfect.
You won't be here.
Yeah.
We got the new guy. We're
You
gonna
can read anything tonight, Tom, right?
We're gonna beat on the new guy next time.
The new guy will do it.
Okay. Town manager update.
All right. First, I'm pleased to say that the transition to the new interim town manager is proceeding smoothly. For procurement news, we're just finalizing the contract for the town manager search. The firm Municipal Resources, Inc. and its representative Buzz Stapczynski will be in touch soon. Work on the update of the employee handbook is progressing well, with a number of useful additions being proposed. And on Wednesday, Tommy's Compost won the bid for composting services, and we are negotiating the contract terms with them now.
Tom, could you give us a little background where this firm is from?
Yeah.
Are they local?
It's a local firm. The owner is Mary Summer, who used to be called Mary Stucklin, who was an employee of the town, working on recycling.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we're aware of the firm's personnel. And Berkshire Environmental won the bid for dust mitigation review and special permit condition recommendations. We're in the process of finalizing that contract as well, which is almost ready for both sides to sign. I hope we've made the final change in that. Also on the status of select board votes regarding Berkshire Concrete, the planning board is meeting one Wednesday, and I understand they will discuss their participation in the Clean Air Committee. The Board of Health has chosen Nancy Hooper to represent them, with Matt Bryan as the alternate. It's a good thing we appointed him to the board.
I think you left.
We will need to review the status of River Run as a road, though we have a firm belief that it has always been and remains a private road. The property manager of River Run is hoping the town can assist in the road's maintenance, but we do not believe it is a town road, and we cannot provide town-funded assistance for private roads.
Correct.
Just a little bit more, not in my notes. It appears that we have also not been assessing River Run taxes on that private road. So the status of the road is quite unusual. It's kind of no man's land at this point. And I am in touch with KP Law about how to deal with that.
Yeah, that'd be good to get that resolved.
One of the questions you could ask KP Law, because it's private property, do they have the right to bar people from using it? In other words, the residents that lived on the extended section of River Run?
Well, apparently, we will have to look into the deeds themselves and the descriptions, but it may be that River Run does not own River Road, nor does the town.
Okay, that's a good place to start. Thank you.
Yeah, we're gonna have to look at the deeds. This is a deep dive at the register.
Okay,
Who's maintained it, Tom?
No, that's why it's an important issue.
Yes, plowed in the winter. I mean, what maintenance has occurred? Has it been by River Run or by the town?
I am unaware of any maintenance done by the town on the road. River Road extension, there was some work that was started on the maintenance of that road, especially in the winter when residents early in my tenure came in and asked that road be at least cleared.
And that's pretty much dirt.
Yeah. So, I emailed the executive director of the Mass Municipal Association and proposed that they hire a firm to find out just what the pay and other compensation disparities are between reasonably comparable public and private sector workers. There is an impending crisis in municipal staffing, and we need to know how towns can provide sufficient pay and benefits to make up for private sector compensation packages.
good idea.
The issue, there's River Run again. Sorry, I've got it on here twice. I've also alerted the Board of Assessors to the problem and expect further communication.
Yeah, they're doing a little research on their end, I believe.
And finally, the grant writer for the new police building submitted a proposal for a Mass Works grant through the relatively new one-stop grant program. Combines a lot of other previous grant programs. The grant would continue the work of feasibility design and community engagement. We'll know in the late fall or summer whether we got it.
Good, good work.
That's what I've got.
I just have a question, Tom. In terms of the town manager, our permanent town manager, are there any updates from the committee? Are we to expect any updates in terms of candidates?
I don't have any updates at this point. I think once the firm comes on board, everything will start to gain steam.
And when will that happen, the firm?
As soon as we have the contract finalized.
Oh, we don't have that one yet.
We are just finalizing the contract for the town manager search.
Okay.
Should we, as a board, meet with the advisory board for town manager along with the new firm together in one meeting so we're all on the same page when we go forward?
Sounds good to me.
Yeah, I think we should.
Yeah, chances are they would attend by Zoom.
Yeah, whatever, yeah, it's fine.
Yeah. Okay, that's it for me.
Okay. Okay, brings us to number 8, vacation carryover and payouts or payout reports.
Okay.
This is actually updated, I didn't update the agenda, but it's actually only Rebecca Whitaker that has a payout request, the others did not need select board approval.
Okay.
So there's only one board, this one right here? Okay. Mr. Chairman, it's apparently, she has 32 hours or $980.48 in back pay. So I move that the payout be honored.
Second.
Okay, motion's been made and second. Is there any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? We just got to sign.
And all we need is your signature.
Okay. We won't have to sign.
And 616.
Okay, now we move on, as soon as I found my agenda again. Okay, report from the building commissioner regarding Berkshire County Concrete. Bryan, you are on.
How does the building inspector get in the building?
Zoning enforcement.
Brian, could you, it just answer me a question, maybe Tom. How did you become the commissioner instead of the building inspector?
If you're one person, every town is supposed to have a commissioner. Every city in town has to have a building commissioner.
If you're the only person working this job, you're the commissioner.
So you're the building commissioner.
I am the building
So
commissioner.
this is all new to
Zoning
me, okay?
enforcement.
Fine.
Okay,
I'm the guy.
go for it, Brian.
Good evening. For the record, my name is Bryan, I'm the building commissioner and zoning enforcement officer for the town of Dalton. I assume you guys all have a copy of this, right? Okay. So I was asked by the select board for a site visit for Berkshire Concrete property on June 11th, 10 a.m. I met with the representatives of Berkshire Concrete and their attorneys, and I had the town planner with me. I had the zoning map. We sat down, we went over every detail of the parcels. I wanted to be sure that we were all clear about what they were actually parcels were permitted at the moment, which parcels they were wanting to do in the future, so that there'd be no discrepancies when they file for their upcoming special permit application. So currently, they have a special permit to mine on parcels 217-3, 106-55.1. They wish to add parcels 105-12, 101-25, and 105-16. The parcel 217-3 is going to remain active, because they're just worried that when they get to the 105-12, that they're going to be really close to the line, and they don't want to have any, they don't really plan on mining that parcel, but they're going to be so close to the line, they're going to keep the permit active, just so there's no overlap. And I also pointed out to them that parcel 101-25 is a split zone parcel. Part of it's R1, part of it's R2. There's only a special permit allowance to mine in an R1 zoning district. So they're gonna only come up and cut just the bottom corner of that parcel off, which is all in the R1 zoning district. Mainly just so that they can access the 105-12 parcel. So that's what they're going to go in front of the planning board to get. Not their intention to mine that whole parcel. The parcel 106-55.1, they're actually going to be taking off. This is what I wanted to go over. Because they've been rolling over that 106-55.1 as a special permit, which they finished that parcel like 3 years ago. Totally reclaimed it, trees planted. You know, that one I told they can just, that can be taken off of their application. They don't need to be adding that on there anymore, so that one's coming off. When I was there, they were working on the fence on top of the berm. The fence company, I guess, was having delays from the weather. I assume that it's completed. I was told that that was going to be done by the end of that week. And that's about it.
Question for you, Brian. When we were up there,
Any questions?
yeah, when we were up there, somebody asked if they could mark the parcels with, mark out the parcels, actually have posts with numbers on them, so everybody knows what parcel's what. Right now, it's like nobody knows where it starts, where it ends. And I do believe they agreed to do that. Is there any movement on that?
I don't.
Is there any way that
know
can be
anything
put?
about that. I mean, that's something where they go in front of the special permit.
Can that be put in the permit?
That could be written into their special permit. I mean, when they go in front of the planning board, I mean, that's something the planning board could say, you've got to delineate the boundaries of all these so that.
Could you request that from ourselves?
Yeah, it wouldn't come from me. I'm just a,
Okay, then.
I'm not the
we'd like to-
request guy.
I've got to know.
Okay.
Could I ask a question, Brian? And I should have, when we motioned in terms of your visitation, I know they flagged property lines on the parcel that's non-permitted. And I'm just curious, can you verify that they're within the 100-foot or outside that 100-foot buffer? Because at one point on that southeastern slope as you ascend, it appears that they move beyond.
You're talking about where that berm is?
I'm talking about the non-permitted 105-16, the lot in question. And there's flags.
That's something when they go for the special permit, I mean, it has to be all, that's something they can say, planning board can say, we want it delineated, and we want it, you know.
Well, I'm asking now, can that be verified that they haven't stepped within that buffer?
I don't know.
Can you?
I mean, they're not doing earth removal, that's my only purview. I'm only there because I'm the special permit enforcing agent for the planning board.
Right.
That parcel doesn't have a special permit.
I know.
I really don't have any
So
jurisdiction or any enforcement on that parcel.
I guess what I'm asking is, you know, when you have a pull a building permit, it's assumed you're so many feet from property lines. I'm questioning, how do we know that they're not over or
That's
within the
something when they
buffer?
go for their special permit, they've
You
got.
can't do that now? It can't be determined now?
You could ask them to it, but I mean, that's not something I enforce. That's not something I do.
So I guess
It might be a permit condition, and they don't have a permit. I only do permit conditions for that, earth removal.
So, if I can clarify, you're asking, if they did have a special permit now, would they be violating it
Right.
by being,
within the buffer, beyond the
By
buffer.
There's no permit, so I mean, there's nothing
right, but but that's what you're asking
Yeah.
is,
Yeah,
if they were operating legitimately, would it be a violation of their legitimate operation?
yeah,
Clearly, they're not operating legitimately at this
Correct.
point, so,
correct.
yeah.
So does that negate my question, that it can't be determined at this juncture? That they're beyond what they claim is within the 100-foot buffer line?
you'd have to get a land surveyor to mark out boundaries and flag it out. I mean, that's nothing I can.
No, I know you can't. I know that, Brian, but I'm just saying right now, there are flags, and at one corner, there's no flags, and it appears that they've,
The only person that could tell you that is a land surveyor. So if you wanted to hire one and could determine what the boundaries and measure from the boundaries, or they would have to pay for the cost of it or something. But
Is
again,
that something we can put into a special permit?
that's the thing. I mean, right now, you telling them to do that, it would be under what authority?
Yeah.
There's no special permit. The planning board could have that all down as part of the process. They could say, once they get an application, they haven't even submitted an application yet. They could say, we want this delineated,
Do you know
marked out.
they-
We want to verify before we issue a special permit. Then say, have it all flagged out. Then I can go, if the planning board says they want it as part of their thing, then I can witness it, but
Let
it's
me,
gonna have to be a.
can I just
land
ask a
surveyor.
question? What's the point of even getting, if you're gonna do what you want, what's the point of getting a special permit?
Is that a question to me?
It's the question to anybody. If you're just gonna go out there and do whatever you want, what's the point of getting a special permit?
Well, they've been shut down from doing what they wanted.
I guess it's a catch-22.
After they've already done what they wanted to do.
I'm not sure they finished what they wanted to do, but anyways.
They've not finished what they wanted to do.
Regardless, let's focus on the report. I think that
I have a,
Brian can't really answer that question. I mean,
well, maybe I'll answer my question. Brian, is there any indication that they are going to, within the near future, apply for a special permit for 105?
Yes.
I have another follow-up too, Brian.
Yes, there are 3 parcels that they've identified that they want to add.
Yeah, right here,
to the
okay.
special
All
permit.
right. And you believe that to be in the near future?
That's what they told me.
Okay, thank
I
you.
sat down with them and their lawyers, and,
And this would probably be before the annual operating permit, which is November,
I think
December.
it's
part of that.
November or something, so. I mean, I don't know what the holdup is for them.
I believe that they're waiting for the review of their preliminary plan before presenting a final plan to the planning board for approval.
Your preliminary plan for mitigation?
Yes,
Is that what you're talking about?
yes,
Is that
Okay.
the one from Foresight?
not yet.
No, I mean, is that who's doing the plan? Foresight Land?
That was.
Foresight was their
Right, they're the ones,
their engineer.
they're the ones that submit the plans, correct?
No plan has been submitted yet, right? Yeah, right.
The preliminary plan was given to the town so that we can have it reviewed and critiqued and come up with our own response to that. And they don't want to put out a final plan until they have our review and critique
Okay.
and response.
The planning board is reviewing this plan, correct?
Well, that was in response from the health department. When the health department issued their orders, that's what they came back with as the fix. So that's what the town was reviewing to see if it was legit or not.
Brian, I know these numbers are confusing, but I'm looking at a map here, and I don't see map 217, lot 3. I don't see that anywhere. 217-3 will remain, I'm assuming, due to the proximity of parcel 10512. 10512 is close to 150 acres. That's a huge chunk of Berkshire concrete, but I don't see 217-3.
It's a little weird shape. This one. Is that shape?
There it is. Got it. Thank you so much.
That's the one that they do have an active note.
Yep,
But
got
they want mine right
it. I got you.
there.
Thank you. I got you. Thank you, Ron. I got it. Yep. Thank you very much.
It is confusing. I mean, that's why I wanted to sit down with them, with this in front of them, and hash out exactly what they want to do,
Yeah.
so that we're all on the same page and where they're going.
I guess my own take on this is that, and I alluded to this when we sat with the Board of Health, is there's 4 legs to this table. There's the planning, three regulatory bodies, 2 in particular, the Planning Board and the Conservation Commission. And there's irregularities. Those, and the third one is the Board of Health in terms of the nuisance. And the fourth is Selectboard. And we, as council has said, can't do anything at this juncture until the Board of Health promulgates regulations for air monitoring and adopts them and then cedes that authority to this board.
Right.
So I'm nervous when they sit with you, Brian, because we have to have our boards working in conjunction and coordination with one another. There's no doubt Conservation has to weigh in, Board of Health has to weigh in before Planning Board issues any permit of any kind, in my mind, because that's just disjointed and that's gotten us to this point. So this ad hoc committee is hopefully going to bring in perspectives from yourself, and I know Yanko has been part of it, Kim Weatherall, the agent for conservation, Agnes from Board of Health. So we have to really coordinate, and I would be very hesitant to make any statements on behalf of our town until we all sit down and report to the town manager questions and issues we have, and eventually I believe our attorney's going to have to weigh in here, given the irregularities of what I term irregularities of the past. Missing information, incorrect information on applications. So, just my 2 cents, so to speak.
And when an application comes in, it does go to different boards for review.
Right.
Now that there's a clear determination of which parcels they're talking about, it'll be easier for conservation to weigh in, see if any of it is under their purview. If they have any questions or concerns, that process is where it's supposed to take place.
And the other part of this is the timeline and the process, because the first one up, well, really the first one up is Board of Health in terms of promulgating regulations for air quality and testing. The second one is Conservation, and their permit is a 3-year permit which expires the early part of next year in terms of a notice of intent. So Conservation, their permit goes until 26. The Planning Board permit is yearly. Theirs comes up this fall. So somehow we have to have Conservation request a new notice of intent.
Oh, Tony,
I'm getting ahead of myself, Bob.
a notice of intent can be requested for an extension too, for another 3 years.
Right. But they don't, but their permit is good, Bob, until July of 26.
Right.
But the planning board's...
July of 26, they can ask for that permit to get 3 more years on it.
Right. But what I'm suggesting, Bob, is that a notice of intent be requested earlier by the Conservation Commission so that the planning board has something to go off in terms of issuing a permit, in addition to the Board of Health giving their 2 cents in terms of air quality and monitoring. So all I'm saying, it should work together before planning board issues a permit. That's really what I'm getting at. All 3 boards have to work in conjunction. And really, the select board's just sort of overseeing this at this juncture.
That's the process. The planning board is supposed to get all that feedback before they make any kind of issuance of any special permits.
Right.
All that's supposed to be submitted to them for review.
But they haven't even applied for one yet.
They haven't even applied.
So, I mean, I think it's kind of a standoff here. If they haven't applied for one, and they haven't applied for one, according to the town manager, because they don't have in hand, a approved site plan, mediation plan, then there's nothing that's happening at all. They're not going forward with their permitting process, and also because the town hasn't approved the temporary or a preliminary mitigation plan, and had any comments on it. It's like kind of like a Mexican standoff here. Nobody's moving down.
And the way that they're moving is by enacting their preliminary mitigation plan in anticipation of being somewhat close to what will eventually require them to do for mitigation based on the review. So they're not mining right now,
Right.
and they are mitigating. So, and also we did not approve the preliminary plan. They just presented that and said, we're going to do this in order to mitigate, stuff immediately,
Yep.
while we work on what the permanent plan is going to be. So it's not that nothing's going on, it's that we're getting the process rolling for reviewing that plan and getting recommendations for planning board.
We can't review a plan that we don't have.
That's
We
what,
have the preliminary.
We have preliminary
That's what
plan.
we would be reviewing.
I think when we get the consultancy on, again, another voice at the table, at that ad hoc table, that's going to give us guidance, both to the Board of Health, to the Conservation, to all the boards in terms of looking ahead to planning coming through. We have to initiate, John, I believe we have to initiate what we want them to do.
We have to give direction,
Right.
impetus to this process, and
Yeah.
I don't see that happening now.
It's
And
gonna-
this is what you want to do, and I agree with you completely.
Yeah, it's going to
But,
happen, John.
so, preliminary mitigation plan was submitted, and we basically taking no action on it. And evidently, they are implementing it. And from my site, it's a very limited, planting a few trees, doing this, doing that, which is, to me, basically meaningless.
Yeah. John, I agree with you. They submitted a mitigation plan unilaterally.
Yeah, they did.
And they haven't. in
I
my
think
mind-
they just did this stall for time, that's what they're doing.
Well,
Was it ever stamped?
no, it was never stamped. And again, we have to take the action first to them and say what we want, but we need guidance and consultancy. They just, I think we're all saying the same thing.
But
Hold on.
The agenda item was for a report from the building commissioner regarding Berkshire Concrete,
Right.
not a full-blown discussion of the matter.
Well, it sort of plays in though, Dan. I understand. I
Well, I
agree.
don't think it's exactly what's on the agenda here. Where are we getting with this is my question.
Well, we're moving,
People are talking in circles, I'm not seeing any
Well,
resolution. So
You're exactly right.
if there's
That's
motions to
exactly
be
what
made,
it-
make the motion, if not, we should move on.
No, we made a motion to, and we've appointed people to be on this committee.
Yeah,
Tony is absolutely right. This committee needs to convene with the consultant and establish some sort of direction or implementation, or where are we going?
okay,
That's all.
but there's not much more that we can say.
No, not tonight, no.
Okay.
So I'm just trying to be cognizant of the
You
use of our
just want to
time.
go home. No,
That's an unfair statement. No, I want to be
Well,
cognizant of the use of the board's
yeah.
time, and the public's time, and the town manager's time, everyone's time.
Any other comments on
If-
the agenda
I'm
item?
just not sure where this discussion leads, if there's no motion.
There is no.
Is there any more questions for me?
the only other thing I want to say is, I know, Brian, it's a written report, compact. I know we also request any visual, and I know Yanko today sent out an email in terms of a visual, but I think that's important too, that a visual report be given also. Picture's worth 1,000 words. So, picture if indeed we ask again. to
What
have.
would you like a picture of?
Well, just lot 10516 and piles of rubble, piles of sand, pictures. I think, what's going on? Big pictures to me are everything. We have GIS information too, but anything you could provide would all be helpful. Please.
Anything else on this?
I couldn't hear something when it was, I can't ask, did you say there was or was not a permit for 10516?
There is not.
Thank you.
Why are they allowed to work on a site where there's no permit? When they've been there,
The permit requirements for earth and removal, mining.
right,
Right.
right.
Just about there.
So
But
that's
do
what
they
they've been
have-
told to stop dealing with.
But-
They were.
Do they actually have a permit to allow them to do that?
They don't need a permit to do site work, what they were trying to do to fix the dust problem.
No,
No
but I-
permit required for that.
They, the change has been significant, I didn't say.
All right,
Shut this down.
Yep.
Thank you.
Sorry, we're getting off the subject here, and I'm sorry. I really want this to resolve. Can you submit your questions to us, and we'll get them to Bryan or whatever? And I promise you we'll get answers. Because this is not on the agenda.
Yeah, I mean, the bottom line is, it's a report from the building commissioner, not a Q&A session. In my view, I mean, at least for the whole, it's not a public hearing necessarily. The board is asking the questions that they want to ask, but I just feel like without something more specific on the agenda that actually states what this is, we should just accept the report, ask the questions we have, and move on. That's my view.
Yeah, if you want it on the agenda next time, we'll put it on the agenda. We'll be glad to do that. Okay? And we'll get we'll get all the answers we can.
I think it should deal with that parcel, 10560.
Ron, send me whatever you want on the agenda.
I'll do that.
okay?
I do definitely get it.
Okay, David?
Yes, so I certainly respect your wanting your meetings to be efficient and all that, and the comment being at the beginning. Someone had said a few weeks back about as much as you can, I think it was Rich, that said, can you please provide any documents and such that are to be presented so that our questions at the beginning can be pointed. Because when I'm sitting here with 15 questions I can't ask them, I would have asked them at the beginning of the meeting, given that letter I just saw. So anything you can do to front load information to the citizenship, so when we come to a meeting, we have the appropriate questions,
Okay.
and then you can run your meeting.
Yeah, I totally understand that. That'd be a good idea. Why don't you work with us and get us your questions and what the information you're looking for, and we'll research answers for you, okay? And we'll get it for you.
Understood.
Okay? Anything else for Bryan?
Thanks, Brian.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, motion to open the sewer commission.
Chairman, I move that we open as a sewer commission.
Okay, a motion's been made and seconded. Is there any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Mr. Hutchinson?
Yeah, the first item is the usual periodic warrant to collect money from the town of Hinsdale for sewer use through Venus. And it's $120,772.
Okay. Motion?
We need a motion to approve this,
Yes.
approve the amount.
Yep, we'll get it signed.
Mr. Chairman, I move that we approve the amount of billing to the town of Hinsdale for the sewer service as $120,772.00.
Second.
127,772.00.
Okay, is there any second?
Yeah.
Okay, any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? All right, so moved, and we'll sign this. Okay, and then we have that.
You all understand?
Laura, we got two here, do we have to sign two?
The second one does not require a signature.
It's like,
Okay, then we
Just to
have
be
one.
clear, that was $120,772.
Yeah,
that's a great point.
Seven.
Yeah, it's not, they don't line up. We have to re-sign a revised. So the written word, number is 120,700, that's not correct, it's $127,772.
Yes. So if you approve 127,772 will be good.
We'll just have to reprint and re-sign, because we just signed one that's,
Yeah,
yeah, okay.
yeah.
Okay, now we have one from the stationery factory.
We can always go down. We got we got quite a wrong number from the Dalton Fire District. They gave us an annual figure, and what we needed was a prorated 6-month figure. So we are requesting to reduce the amount from $1,067,400 to $442,320. And you have that in your packets.
Point of order on this one.
In the email.
I'm an employee of the entertainment part of Stationery Factory, but not the Stationery Factory regular building. Should I recuse myself?
Yeah, and this is, so this is the tax on that usage. So the difference is between $5,422.39, with the correct figure being less than half that, $2,246.99.
so the rebate, the abated amount is what we've got to approve.
Yes.
The abated amount of $3,175.40. I move that we abate on the direction of the town collector an amount of $3,175.40 to the Stationery Factory LLC, 63 Flansburgh Ave.
Second.
Okay, a motion's been made and seconded. Is there any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? I abstain. Okay.
Okay, we'll try to have that ready for you tomorrow morning.
Okay.
Yeah, you too.
Probably be a little bit after it.
Make a motion to close this sewer commission.
Second?
There you go.
Okay. Motion's been made and seconded. Is there any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, let me find my agenda. Sideline.
Yeah, sure.
Okay, future agenda items. Any?
I do, Bob, thanks.
Okay, Tony.
I had sent out a motion for future agenda item regarding the policy and procedure that a select board policy and procedure manual be compiled by an ad hoc select board policy and procedure manual for review by the town manager for the select board's review and adoption. The committee will consist of 5 Dalton residents. Letters of interest to be submitted to the town manager. That could be a future agenda item. Also, I think it's in the works, but I'll say it again, the 2 citizen appointments be made.
Yep.
Conservation, I don't know where they stand. They don't have a chair at the present time. We need to have conservation on the ad hoc committee. So that may be a future agenda item too, just what the status is of conservation. And that's it for me for agenda items.
Anyone else?
Yeah, but I'd just like to say one thing. That we have a meeting scheduled for next week, the 23rd. I would like to suggest postponing that meeting or canceling it and rescheduling a meeting for June 30th. Now, the reason is, there's several reasons. We've been through a multitude of meetings lately, and we have a special town meeting coming up. It gives the staff somewhat of a break. But also, it would give the interim town manager an opportunity to settle in and make financial recommendations, which are usually come at the end of the year, June 30th.
Tom?
I'd just like to note that this discussion is slated under
Next
item number
meeting,
15.
number 15, it's on the agenda.
This agenda? I'm sorry, I didn't
It
see
is
it.
on the agenda under the next meeting. So setting the date for the next meeting,
Okay, we'll take that.
I
up when it's down.
anticipated some discussion about that.
Oh, okay, way down there, I didn't see it, Tom.
Yeah, sorry, it's.
Yeah, all right, you got it.
Okay, any other future agenda items? Okay, I'm getting punchy here. Okay, items not anticipated 48 hours before the meeting, any?
I have nothing.
Okay. Remarks of the select board, any?
I have just two again. Swap shop opened up, soft opening on Saturday. We have to have volunteers. I'm meeting with Bud. Hopefully that'll be up and running more regularly. It's posted in terms of what it is. There'll be a poster, a one-page poster to inform the community just what the swap shop is. It's nothing novel. It's being done in Hinsdale and other communities around. And finally, Tom, you alluded to the contract being given out, so community compost begins July 1st. Both sheds are there now, it's ready to go.
And I'd like to thank Tony for being the driving force behind the composting initiative.
Oh, cool, that is good.
Tony, about the swap shop, is that going to be available every day to the customers over at the transfer station, or only one day a week?
Well, right now, I was there, I met with Linda Cermak for 2 hours, but that really is the big question. Who's going to be there? It has to be volunteer. Well, it doesn't have to be volunteers, but maybe RSVP may provide a client there. That may be a possibility. I've come to the senior center and asked maybe if someone would want to do that. I don't know if there's a work-off program in Dalton. Remember we used to have a work-off program?
We used to, it never worked out.
Yeah, I mean,
There is.
there is something like of that nature. Remember, Terry? Yeah. I mean, there's possibilities. It's going to happen, but it's going to take conversation and some time. Yeah, but it's no regular hours at all, none. But we are being compensated for this, by the way. We're receiving thousands of dollars back from the state because of our recycling efforts.
Cool,
So,
that's great.
And we get a free shed, right?
free shed for swap, and that's Bud's doing.
It's nice looking shed, too.
Bud deserves as much credit as anybody here.
Okay, anyone else?
Yeah, just I'd like to publicly thank Tom Hutchison for his service to the town as town manager for the past, is it 5?
4 years.
4 years?
Yeah.
Wish you well in your retirement. It's been a pleasure working with you. Thank you very much. And I'd like to welcome Terry Williams as the interim town manager. And also thank you for stepping up and being willing to serve.
I'm
the town.
anxious to work with the board, and I'm hoping to, kind of coalesce the disparities that were addressed at the beginning of the meeting tonight. So I'm looking forward to it. It's going to be a challenge, but I'm doing it.
Good. Thanks, sir.
Okay. Anyone else? Going once? Okay, announcements. The Dalton Cemetery trustees will hold 2 informational sessions regarding green burials at Ashland Street Cemetery. The sessions will not only be to explain green burials and answer questions, but to receive suggestions from residents. Both sessions will be at the Town Dalton Senior Center, 40 Field Street. First session will be Tuesday, September 16th at 1:30 to 2:30. The second section will be Thursday, September 18th, 6:30 to 7:30. The town is seeking volunteers, including for its cultural council, responsible for reviewing arts and culture grant proposals and approving projects. For other volunteer opportunities, please visit the town website. The town of Dalton currently has the following employment opportunities: town manager and DPW motor equipment operator. Please visit the town website or contact the town manager's office for more information. Dalton's official meeting postings, agendas, and minutes can be viewed at mytowngovernment.org/01226. All right, number 15, the next meeting.
Well, as I said, I've told this a couple times. I just think it'd be a good idea to give the staff a break. We're scheduled to be in several meetings recently.
Yeah.
And we have a special town meeting coming up, which is going to be controversial, to say the least. And if we have a new interim town manager. As Dan just said, Tom is basically gone.
Wednesdays is.
Yeah, he's it. So, in the next 10, it'll give you 9 days to get a handle on the financial situation and year-end machinations that need to take place. And you only have a couple of days to do that if we meet that next Monday.
Yeah.
But if we go to the 30th, you'll have equal opportunity, you will have an opportunity to get your hands really on it, Terry, and make the appropriate.
Yeah, I would make 2 points. Number one, if you go to the 30th, there's a better chance that we can collect every last minute item where the 23rd,
We'll probably have to turn
you
around
might
and do
have
one
to
on
have
the
something overhanging.
Yeah.
And the second thing is, since I understand you meet only once in July and once in August, it's there's going to be a gap anyways before the July meeting, whether it's the 23rd or 30th. There's going to
So you support the 30th?
Yeah,
Okay, thank you.
I would support the 30th.
I would make a motion that we schedule a meeting for the 30th and cancel or postpone the meeting that was, I don't know, Lori, if we've posted it yet, meeting for the 23rd?
23rd, I believe it
No,
is.
so cancel.
Cancel it, yeah, if everybody agrees.
Yeah,
Okay, is there a second?
I said that, yeah.
Okay, motion's been made and seconded to cancel the June 23rd meeting and move it to June 30th. Is there any?
Same time, same place.
Yeah.
All right, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, motion to adjourn.
Was easy.
Is there a second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Good night, Dalton, thank you.